Tonight I shall share with you the most profound secret of creation, how to speak blessings upon yourself and instantly transform your entire world. So you see, when you truly understand how to bless yourself, you are engaging in the highest form of creation. For you are doing what God does continuously. Consider the first chapter of Genesis, where God speaks blessings upon his creation. Notice how he didn't ask anyone else to bless his work. He blessed it himself. This is the pattern you must follow, for you are that same creative power individualized as you. Let me share with you why blessing yourself is the most powerful act you can perform. First, you must understand that when you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are not engaging in mere positive thinking or affirmations. You are exercising your divine creative power, for you are God individualized as you. Many of you come to me seeking blessings from others, from teachers, from gurus, from religious leaders. But I tell you now, no one can bless you more powerfully than you can bless yourself. For you are the operant power in your world, and your word is the creative power of God in action. When you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are doing what God did in the beginning. Remember the words, and God blessed them. He didn't wait for someone else to bless his creation. He blessed it himself. And you, being made in his image and likeness, must do the same. Let me share with you the proper way to speak blessings upon yourself. First, you must understand that when you say, I bless myself, you are not speaking as a mortal being. You are speaking as God individualized. For your I am is God. And when you speak blessings from your I am, you are speaking with all the power of creation. Consider this: every time you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are literally recreating your world. For your word is God's word, and God's word cannot return void. It must accomplish that which it is sent to do. But then this is crucial: your blessings must be spoken with understanding and feeling. You cannot merely repeat words mechanically and expect results. You must feel the truth of the blessing as you speak it. For feeling is the secret. And without feeling, words are empty. Let me give you a perfect example from Scripture. When Isaac blessed Jacob, he felt the blessing as he spoke it. He wasn't just saying words, he was feeling the reality of what he was declaring. And this is exactly how you must speak blessings upon yourself. Many of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't it selfish to bless myself? Let me tell you something, it is the most unselfish thing you can do. For when you bless yourself, truly understanding that you are God individualized, you are blessing all of creation. For there is no other. What you see as others is yourself pushed out. Let me share with you how to properly structure your self-blessings. Begin with your I am. For this is the name of God. Then speak your blessing with absolute conviction. For example, I am blessed with perfect health. I am blessed with unlimited abundance. I am blessed with divine wisdom. But remember, these are not mere affirmations. They are acknowledgments of what is already true in consciousness. For when you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are not trying to make something true. You are acknowledging what is already true in the spiritual realm. Consider this principle I have tested and proven countless times. When you bless yourself, you are performing the highest act of creation. For in blessing yourself, you are acknowledging your divine nature, and what you acknowledge must manifest in your experience. Let me share with you the 3 aspects of effective self-blessing. First, there is recognition. When you bless yourself, you must recognize that you speak as God individualized. Not as a mortal being hoping for good, but as the divine creator declaring what is. Second, there is feeling. Your blessings must be accompanied by the feeling of their fulfillment. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, you must feel the vitality, the strength, the well-being that this blessing implies. For feeling is the secret of creation. Third, there is acceptance. You must accept that your blessing is already fulfilled in consciousness. Not that it will be, not that it might be, but that it is. For consciousness is the only reality, and what you accept in consciousness must externalize itself in your world. Many of you make the mistake of blessing yourself while looking at your current circumstances. But I tell you now, circumstances have no power over your blessings unless you give them that power. Your blessings create circumstances, not the other way around. Let me share with you a profound truth about self-blessing that most of the world has missed. When you bless yourself, you are not asking for something to be given to you. You are acknowledging what is already yours by divine right. For all blessings already exist in consciousness, waiting to be acknowledged and claimed. Consider the words of Scripture before they call. I will answer. This means that every blessing you could ever speak upon yourself already exists in consciousness. Your speaking of the blessing is not creating it. It is acknowledging and claiming what already is. Let me share with you how to maintain the consciousness of your self-blessings throughout your day. Most people speak a blessing and then return to their old patterns of thought. But I tell you now, your blessing must become your constant inner conversation. I think about this carefully. Every time you speak a blessing upon yourself, you are literally rearranging the entire spiritual substance of your universe. For your consciousness is God, and what God blesses must manifest. Let me give you some specific blessings that I have found particularly powerful. First, I am blessed with perfect understanding of my own divine nature. This blessing opens the door to all other blessings, for when you truly understand your divine nature, all things become possible. Second, I am blessed with the constant awareness of my creative power. This blessing keeps you mindful of your true identity as God individualized. For you see, most people forget their divine nature and slip back into mortal thinking. Third, I am blessed with the ability to see past appearances to the truth of being. This blessing helps you maintain your focus on the reality of consciousness rather than the shadows of circumstances. Consider how these blessings work together. Each one strengthens the others, creating a powerful foundation for all your other blessings. For when you truly understand your divine nature, are aware of your creative power, and can see past appearances, you become a master of conscious creation. Many of you may be wondering how often to speak these blessings. Let me tell you something. It's not about frequency, it's about consciousness. One blessing spoken with complete understanding and feeling is worth more than 1,000 spoken mechanically. Let me share with you another principle about self-blessing that most people miss. When you bless yourself, you are not speaking to yourself as a mortal being, you are speaking as God to His creation. For you are both the blesser and the blessed, the creator and the creation. Think about this carefully. When God said, "Let there be light," He didn't doubt whether it was possible. He didn't wonder about the process. He simply declared it and knew it was done. This is exactly how you must speak your blessings upon yourself. Consider the power in this understanding. When you say, "I am blessed," you are speaking with the same authority that created the universe. For your I am is the same I am that spoke all things into being. Let me share with you how to handle doubts when they arise after speaking your blessings, and they will arise. Many of you speak a blessing upon yourself and then immediately begin to question whether it will work. But I tell you now, doubt is simply your former consciousness trying to maintain its position. Consider what happens in nature when you plant a seed. The seed doesn't doubt whether it will become what it is meant to be. It simply begins its transformation according to its nature. Your blessings work the same way. They are spiritual seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Let me give you a deeper understanding of how this works. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, for example, you have planted a seed in consciousness. Now, just as a physical seed needs time to sprout and grow, your blessing needs time to externalize itself in your world. And this is crucial, while the outer manifestation may take and change in consciousness is immediate when the blessing is properly spoken. For you see, the moment you speak a blessing with understanding and feeling, you have altered the entire spiritual substance of your universe. Many of you may be thinking, "But Neville, I've spoken blessings before and nothing changed." Let me tell you something my teacher Abdullah taught me. Nothing changes because you spoke the words. Things change because you became what you declare. Let me share with you another principle about self-blessing that most of the world has missed. When you bless yourself, you are not trying to influence God to give you something. You are exercising your divine power as God individualized. For your consciousness is God and your word is His word. Consider the story of the prodigal son. Notice how the father didn't wait for someone else to bless his returning son. He blessed him himself. This is exactly what you must do. You must be both the father giving the blessing and the son receiving it. This brings me to a deeper truth about self-blessing. When you say I am blessed, you are acknowledging both your divine nature, I am, and your human experience, blessed. You are bringing heaven and earth together in your consciousness. Let me share with you what I call the 7 pillars of self-blessing. These are the foundational principles that must be understood if your blessings are to have their full creative power. The first pillar is recognition. You must recognize that you are the one who blesses. Not your personality, not your mortal self, but your I am. For when you say I am blessed, you are speaking as God individualized, not as a mortal being seeking favors. The second pillar is authority. When you bless yourself, you must speak with complete authority. Consider how God speaks in Scripture, not with doubt, not with hesitation, but with absolute authority. Let there be light. These are words of complete authority. The third pillar is feeling. Your blessings must be accompanied by the feeling of fulfillment. Not the feeling of wanting to be blessed, but the feeling of being blessed. For feeling is the secret, and without the proper feeling, your words lack power. The fourth pillar is present tense. Notice how God never said there will be light. He said, let there be light. Your blessings must be spoken in the present tense, for consciousness knows only now. The fifth pillar is persistence. Not the persistence of mechanical repetition, but the persistence of maintaining the consciousness of being blessed. For your blessing must become your dominant state of consciousness. The sixth pillar is understanding. You must understand that your blessing is not creating something new. It is acknowledging what already exists in consciousness. For all blessings already exist in the spiritual realm, waiting to be claimed. And the seventh pillar is gratitude. When you bless yourself, you must feel grateful not for what will come, but for what already is. For gratitude is the evidence of faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for. Let me share with you how these 7 pillars work together. When you recognize your true identity as God individualized, speak with divine authority, feel the reality of your blessing, maintain present tense awareness, persist in the consciousness, understand the principle, and feel genuine gratitude, your blessing must manifest. Consider how this differs from what most people do. Most people speak blessings from their mortal consciousness, with doubt in their voice, feeling the lack rather than the fulfillment, thinking of future fulfillment, giving up at the first sign of delay, lacking understanding of the principle, and feeling no gratitude until they see results. Let me share with you what I call the 3 stages of self-blessing manifestation. Most people don't understand these stages, and that's why they often give up before their blessings manifest. The first stage is spiritual. This happens instantly when you speak your blessing with understanding and feeling. In this stage, you have literally rearranged the spiritual substance of your universe. This is the most crucial stage, for it is the only stage where real creation takes place. The second stage is mental. This is where your mind begins to align with your blessing. You start to think differently, see opportunities differently, and respond to life differently. Many people mistake this for mere positive thinking, but I tell you now, it is far more than that. It is your consciousness reorganizing itself according to your blessing. The third stage is physical. This is where your outer world begins to reflect your blessing. Now, here's what's fascinating about these stages. They must occur in this order. You cannot skip the spiritual stage and go straight to the physical. You cannot bypass the mental stage and expect outer results. Consider the words of Scripture, first the blade, then the ear, after that the full corn in the ear. This is describing these three stages. The blade is the spiritual acceptance. The ear is the mental alignment. And the full corn is the physical manifestation. Let me share with you how to recognize when you're in each stage. In the spiritual stage, you feel an inner knowing, a deep peace about your blessing. There might be no outer evidence yet, but you know it is done. In the mental stage, you begin to think thoughts that align with your blessing naturally, without effort. If you've blessed yourself with abundance, for example, you naturally begin to think abundant thoughts. If you've blessed yourself with health, you naturally begin to think healthy thoughts. In the physical stage, your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match your blessing. But and this is crucial, by the time you reach this stage, you're no longer anxious about it. For you see, you've already experienced the reality of reality in consciousness. Let me give you a deeper understanding of how these stages work together. When you say, I am blessed with perfect health, you instantly create this reality in the spiritual realm. This is stage one. Then your mind begins to align with this new reality. You begin to think like a healthy person, act like a healthy person, make decisions like a healthy person. This is stage two. Finally, your body and circumstances begin to reflect this new reality. But by this time, you're no longer desperate to happen, because you've been living in the Kapinic conscious, both perfect teachers 1 and 2. Many of you make the mistake of looking for physical evidence before you've allowed the spiritual and mental stages to complete their work. But I tell you now, this is like digging up a seed to see if it's growing. You must allow each stage to unfold in its perfect timing. Let me share with you what I call the 4 states of consciousness in self-blessing. Understanding these states is crucial, for your blessing will manifest according to the state from which you speak it. The first state is the state of desire. This is where most people begin. They speak blessings from a consciousness of wanting, of needing, of lacking. But I tell you now, this state cannot produce results, for it perpetuates the very lack it seeks to overcome. The second state is the state of hope. This is better than desire, but still not powerful enough. When you speak blessings from hope, you are acknowledging that fulfillment is possible, but you haven't yet accepted it as fact in consciousness. The third state is the state of faith. Now we're moving into creative power. When you speak blessings from faith, you are speaking with conviction, with certainty, with knowing. But there's an even higher state. The fourth state is the state of knowing. This is the highest state, the state from which God creates. When you speak blessings from this state, you are speaking as God individualized, knowing that what you declare must manifest. Consider how these states progress. In the state of desire, you say, I want to be blessed. In the state of hope, you say, I might be blessed. In the state of faith, you say, I will be blessed. But in the state of knowing, you simply say, I am blessed. Let me share with you how to move from one state to another. The movement from desire to hope happens naturally as you study and understand the law. The movement from hope to faith happens through testing the law and seeing results. But the movement from faith to knowing, this is the crucial transition. The state of knowing comes when you fully realize your own divine nature. When you understand that you are God individualized, that your consciousness is the only reality, that your word is God's word, then you naturally speak blessings from the state of knowing. Many of you may be wondering how to achieve this state of knowing. Let me tell you something, it's not achieved. It's recognized. It's not something you become. It's something you already are. Your task is to remove the veils that hide this truth from your awareness. Let me share with you what I call the 5 proofs of effective self-blessing. These are the signs that tell you your blessing is taking root in consciousness and must therefore manifest in your world. The first proof is peace. When you've spoken of blessing effectively, you feel a deep peace about it. Not the peace of resignation, but the peace of knowing. For you see, when you truly know something is done in consciousness, all anxiety about it disappears. The second proof is naturalness. Your blessing begins to feel natural to you. You no longer have to convince yourself of it. It becomes as natural as breathing, as natural as your own name. The third proof is indifference to appearances. You find yourself unmoved by contradictory circumstances, not because you're practicing positive thinking, but because you know the reality exists in consciousness, not in appearance. The fourth proof is change inner conversation. Your habitual thoughts and internal dialogue naturally align with your blessing. You don't have to force it. It happens spontaneously because consciousness always produces thoughts that match its state. The fifth proof is inspired action. You find yourself naturally taking actions that align with your blessing, not from effort or planning, but from an inner prompting that feels completely natural. Remember, dear friends, that speaking blessings upon yourself is not an act of egotism. It is an acknowledgement of your divine nature. For you are God individualized, and your word has all the creative power of the universe behind it when spoken from that understanding. Let the truth of this sink deep into your consciousness. You are blessed, not because someone else blessed you, but because you have recognized and claimed your divine inherent through the power of self-blessing. That's the message I want to leave with you tonight. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's true. Not because it's what you expected to hear, but because it's what you needed to hear. Remember, your blessings create your reality when spoken from the consciousness of who you really are. And isn't that worth thinking about? Let me share with you what actually occurs in consciousness when you stand on the precipice of extraordinary success. Your entire world is about to undergo a transformation so profound that you will hardly recognize your former life. This isn't wishful thinking, it's law. Many of you sit here tonight wondering when your breakthrough will come, when your circumstances will finally reflect your desires. But I tell you this, your wild success isn't coming. It's already here, existing now in your consciousness, waiting to be assumed into expression. Consider this, every person who has ever achieved extraordinary success first achieved it in consciousness. They didn't wait for circumstances to change, they changed their consciousness to consciousness. The outer success was merely the shadow of their inner assumption. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire approach to success. You stop seeking it in the outer world and start expressing it from within. You recognize that success isn't something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become in consciousness. Let me tell you something vital about this imminent success. It's not determined by your past, your education, your circumstances, or what others think possible for you. It's determined solely by your assumption, by the concept you hold of yourself in consciousness. Here's a profound truth about your wild success. It already exists in what I call the fourth dimension of infinite possibilities. Your only task is to assume it into this three-dimensional world through the power of your consciousness. Think about this. Every great achievement in human history first existed in the consciousness of someone who dared to assume its reality before there was any external evidence. They knew the secret that I'm sharing with you tonight, that consciousness is the only reality. The very success you seek is seeking you, but it can only find you in consciousness. It can only express itself through your assumption of its reality. This assumption of success works with a precision that would astonish you if you could see it from a higher dimension. It operates not through effort or struggle, but through a complete transformation of your inner state. Let me share with you exactly what happens when you truly assume the state of wild success. Your entire inner world begins to reorganize itself. Your thoughts naturally armed with success. Your feelings attuned to success. Your inner conversations reflect success. This isn't something you force, it's something you allow. Many of you try to think successful thoughts while feeling like a failure inside. But I tell you this, success isn't a collection of thoughts. It's a state of consciousness. When you assume the state of success, you don't need to think about success any more than a wealthy person needs to think about wealth. Consider this. When you enter a room, you don't think about being in the room. You simply are in the room. The same must be true of your successful state. You don't think about being successful, you simply are successful. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire existence. You stop trying to achieve success and start expressing success. The difference is profound. Achievement implies future attainment. Expression implies present reality. Let me tell you something crucial about this state of success. It has nothing to do with comparison or competition. Your wild success is unique to you. It's the full expression of who you really are, not an imitation of someone else's journey. Here's a profound truth about assuming success. It must feel natural to you. If it feels like pretense or affirmation, you haven't truly assumed the state. When you genuinely assume a state, it feels like the most natural thing in the world. Think about this. You don't wake up each morning and affirm that you're human. You don't try to convince yourself that you exist. These states are natural to you. Your successful state must become just as natural. The very essence of success is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. It's not something you create. It's something you allow to emerge through your assumption. This emergence of success through your assumption follows an immutable pattern that, once understood, will transform your entire approach to manifestation. You must understand that success isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens from you. Let me share with you what actually occurs when success begins to emerge through your assumption. First, your consciousness shifts. You begin to think, feel, and react from the state of success before any external evidence appears. This isn't pretense, it's spiritual law in operation. Many of you wait for external circumstances to make you feel successful. But I tell you this, you have it backwards. Your feeling of success must precede the external manifestation. The outer world merely reflects what you've already accepted as real in consciousness. Consider this. When an oak tree emerges from an acorn, it doesn't gradually become an oak. It is an oak from the very beginning, merely expressing more and more of what it already is. Your success follows the same pattern. You must be it before you can see it. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your daily experience. You stop living in anticipation of success and start living from the consciousness of success already achieved. This shift in consciousness is everything. Let me tell you something vital about this emergence. It often begins with small changes in how you perceive yourself and your world. You'll notice that you naturally begin to speak differently, carry yourself differently, make decisions differently, not through effort, but through your new self-concept. Here's a profound truth about this emergence of success. It must flow from a changed consciousness, not from external efforts alone. All the action in the world cannot produce success if your consciousness remains in a state of limitation or lack. Think about this. Every truly successful person you admire reached their position through this same law, whether they were conscious of it or not. They first assumed the state of success in consciousness, and their outer world had to reflect that inner conviction. The very circumstances that seem to stand between you and success are actually the raw materials from which your success will be fashioned. They are not obstacles, but opportunities for your assumption to prove itself. These circumstances that appear to block your path to success are actually the perfect stage upon which your assumption will prove its power. Every seeming obstacle is an opportunity to express your new state of consciousness. Let me share with you exactly how to use your present circumstances, regardless of their appearance. When you face a situation that seems to contradict your assumption of success, rather than fighting against it or being discouraged by it, you must see it as the perfect opportunity to express your new state. Many of you look at your current circumstances and say, how can I be successful when this situation exists? But I tell you this, circumstances don't determine your success. Your consciousness determines your circumstances. Your assumption of success, maintained regardless of appearances, must reshape your entire world. Consider this. When an artist looks at a blank canvas, they don't see emptiness, they see infinite possibility. The same must be true of your current circumstances. They are not fixed reality. They are the canvas upon which your assumption will paint your success. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your perception of problems. You stop seeing them as barriers and start recognizing them as the bridge of incidents leading to your success. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to express your new state. Let me tell you something crucial about handling circumstances. You must learn to react to them from your assumed state of success, not from your old patterns of thought and feeling. Your reactions are the true test of your assumption. Here's a profound truth about circumstances. They have no power to sustain themselves against your sustained assumption. Just as darkness cannot exist in the presence of light, limiting circumstances cannot persist in the presence of your consciousness of success. Think about this. Every circumstance in your life right now is there because of past assumptions. As you maintain your new assumption of success, these circumstances must either transform or dissolve to make way for conditions that match your new consciousness. The very circumstances that seem most opposed to your success are often the ones that, when properly used, will contribute most powerfully to its manifestation. Nothing is against you when you know how to use everything for your assumption. The proper use of circumstances requires a complete reversal of your usual way of thinking. Instead of looking at circumstances to determine what's possible, you must look to your assumption of success and let it determine how you interpret and use every circumstance. Let me share with you exactly how this works in practice. When you encounter any situation, rather than asking, how will this affect my success? Ask yourself, how would I see this situation if I were already the success I desire to be? This shift in perspective changes everything. Many of you analyze circumstances trying to figure out how to overcome them. But I tell you this, circumstances don't need to be overcome. They need to be transformed by your consciousness. Your assumption of success, maintained consistently, will automatically transform every circumstance to match it. Consider this. When you enter a dark room and turn on the light, you don't fight the darkness. You don't strategize about how to remove it. The mere presence of light transforms the entire room. Your consciousness of success works the same way. Its mere presence must transform your entire world. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your response to situations. You stop trying to change circumstances and start changing your consciousness about them. You recognize that every circumstance is neutral until your consciousness gives it meaning. Let me tell you something vital about this transformation. It often begins with what appears to be a complete contradiction to your desire. What seems like failure or setback is actually the rearrangement of conditions necessary for your success to manifest. Here's a profound truth about using circumstances. Every situation, every person, every condition in your life must assumption of success when you know how to use them properly. Nothing can resist the power of a consistently maintained assumption. Think about this. The very circumstances that seem to argue against your success are actually arguing for it when viewed from your new assumption. Every apparent obstacle is really an opportunity in disguise waiting to be transformed by your consciousness. The very resistance you encounter is evidence that your assumption is beginning to reshape your world. Just as muscles must encounter resistance to grow stronger, your assumption proves its power by transforming resistant circumstances. This transformation through your assumption follows a precise pattern that unfolds with mathematical certainty. Just as water must reach 212 degrees Fahrenheit to boil, your consciousness must reach and maintain a certain intensity of conviction for transformation to occur. Let me share with you exactly what happens during this transformation process. As you maintain your assumption of success, your entire world begins to dissolve and reshape itself. Old patterns of experience begin to break down. Old relationships either transform or dissolve. Old limitations start to crumble. Many of you become alarmed when your world begins to shake and change. But I tell you this shaking is necessary. Just as an earthquake results from the realignment of tectonic plates, the shaking in your life results from the realignment of consciousness to match your assumption of success. Consider this. When a caterpillar enters its chrysalis, its entire body dissolves before reforming as a butterfly. It doesn't gradually grow wings, it completely transforms. The same process occurs in your world when you maintain your assumption of success. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your tolerance for change. You stop resisting the dissolution of old patterns and start welcoming them as signs that your assumption is taking root. You recognize that chaos often precedes creation. Let me tell you something crucial about this transformation. It doesn't always follow your conscious mind's expectations of how success should come. Your assumption works through infinite wisdom that knows far better than your conscious mind how to bring about your success. Here's a profound truth about this transformative process. It affects everything in your world simultaneously, not just isolated aspects. Your assumption of success transforms your entire life, not just your bank account or your career. Everything must align with your new self-concept. Think about this. Every great success story involves a period of complete transformation where the old life had to give way to the new. This isn't coincidence, it's law. Your assumption of success must transform your entire world to match its nature. The very upheaval that seems to threaten your stability is actually the reorganization necessary for your success to manifest. Nothing can remain in your world that doesn't align with your persistent assumption. This reorganization of your world through the power of your assumption is not random chaos, but perfect order taking shape. Everything that doesn't align with your assumption of success must either transform or be removed from your experience. Let me share with you what actually occurs during this reorganization. Your relationships begin to shift. Some people will be drawn closer while others naturally fade away. Your opportunities begin to change. Old doors close while new ones open. Your very way of thinking reorganizes itself to match your assumption of success. Many of you resist this reorganization, trying to hold on to people, situations, and patterns that no longer serve your new state. But I tell you this, you must let the old order dissolve completely. You cannot pour new wine into old bottles. Your assumption of success demands a complete renewal. Consider this: when you rearrange furniture in a room, there's always a period where everything seems out of place. The room looks worse before it looks better. The same is true of your life as it reorganizes itself to match your assumption of success. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your attitude toward change. You stop seeing disruption as something going wrong and start recognizing it as something going right. You understand that disorder is often the prelude to a higher order. Let me tell you something vital about this reorganization. It works with perfect precision to bring about exactly what your assumption requires. People, circumstances, and opportunities that match your assumed state of success must be drawn into your experience, while anything that contradicts it must be removed. Here's a profound truth about this process. It operates through a wisdom far greater than your conscious mind. Your assumption of success activates a divine intelligence that knows exactly how to reorganize your world for its perfect expression. Think about this. Every success story you've ever heard involved a complete reorganization of the person's life. Old habits had to die. Old associations had to change. Old limitations had to be transcended. This isn't coincidence, it's the law of assumption at work. The very chaos you may be experiencing now is evidence that your assumption is taking hold. Your world must be reorganized to match your new state of consciousness. This divine intelligence operating through assumption works with a precision and wisdom that far exceeds any human planning or strategy. It knows exactly what needs to be dissolved, what needs to be transformed, and what needs to be brought into your experience to manifest your success. Let me share with you how this intelligence actually works in your experience. While your conscious mind may struggle to figure out how success will come, this divine intelligence is already setting in motion a series of events, encounters, and circumstances that will lead inevitably to your success. It operates beyond the limitations of time and space. Many of you try to plan every detail of how your success should manifest. But I tell you this, your conscious planning often limits the infinite ways in which success can come to you. Your only task is to maintain your assumption. Let this higher intelligence handle the how. Consider this. When you plant a seed, you don't need to instruct it how to grow. You don't need to teach it how to form roots, stem, leaves, and flowers. An intelligence within the seed knows exactly what to do. The same is true of your assumption of success. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your approach to manifestation. You stop trying to figure everything out with your conscious mind and start trusting this divine intelligence to bring about your success in ways you could never have imagined. Let me tell you something crucial about this intelligence. It operates most effectively when you step out of its way. The more you try to control the process with your conscious mind, the more you interfere with its perfect operation. Here's a profound truth about this divine intelligence. It knows your heart's deepest desires better than you do. It knows exactly what form of success will bring you the greatest fulfillment. And it works tirelessly to bring that about through your assumption. Think about this. Every great inventor, artist, or entrepreneur who achieved remarkable success often said that their ideas and opportunities came to them as if by inspiration. This wasn't coincidence, it was this divine intelligence operating through their assumption. The very intelligence that keeps your heart beating, that maintains the rhythm of your breath, that orchestrates the movement of planets, is the same intelligence that works through your assumption to bring about your success. To cooperate with this divine intelligence, you must develop an unshakable faith in its operation through your assumption. Your only role is to maintain your consciousness of success and let this perfect intelligence handle every detail of its manifestation. Let me share with you the final and perhaps most crucial understanding about your imminent success. Every moment of doubt, every moment of wavering in your assumption is like taking a seed out of the ground to check if it's growing. You must plant your assumption in consciousness and let it grow undisturbed. Many of you keep shifting between states, sometimes feeling successful, sometimes falling back into old patterns of thought. But I tell you this, you must choose your state and stay there. Success isn't a mood that comes, it's a state that you occupy permanently in consciousness. Consider this: when you fill a glass with water, the water takes the shape of the glass without effort or struggle. Your world must take the shape of your assumption with the same natural inevitability, but only if you maintain that assumption consistently. When you truly master this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire being. You stop waiting for success and start expressing it. You stop pursuing success and start radiating it. You stop hoping for success and start knowing it as your natural state. Let me tell you something final and vital about your wild success. It's not just possible, it's inevitable when you maintain your assumption with unwavering faith. The law must operate. It cannot fail any more than gravity can fail to operate. Here's the ultimate truth about your success. It's already complete in the fourth dimension of infinite possibilities. Your assumption isn't creating it. Your assumption is simply drawing it into visible expression in your three-dimensional world. Think about this. You are about to witness the most remarkable transformation of your life. Everything you've experienced up to now has been preparation for this moment. Your past has not determined your future. Your assumption determines it now. The very fact that you're hearing these words tonight is evidence that you're ready for this transformation. You wouldn't be drawn to this understanding if you weren't prepared to express it. Remember this always: success isn't something you achieve. It's something you express from within. It's not a destination you reach. It's a state you occupy in consciousness. Your wild success is already yours, not will be, but is. The only barrier between you and its full expression is your assumption. Go forth now in the absolute conviction that you are about to be wildly successful. Let nothing disturb this assumption. Let no circumstance, no person, no apparent obstacle shake your faith in this law. For the law of assumption never fails. It cannot fail. Your success is as certain as the dawn following the night, as sure as spring following winter. It must come into expression through the power of your sustained assumption. The only variable is time, And even time must bend to your unwavering consciousness of success. Tonight, as you leave this place, know with complete certainty that you are already successful. Live from that conviction, think from it, feel from it, react from it. Let every thought, every word, every action spring from your consciousness of success already achieved. For in truth, I tell you this, you are about to be wildly successful, not because you will make it happen, but because it is already done in consciousness, and what is done in consciousness must manifest in your world. This is the law, and the law never fails. Test it and prove it for yourself, for you will discover, as countless others have discovered before you, that your assumption, sustained with faith, has the power to transform your entire world. Your wild success awaits your assumption of its reality. And that is the end of tonight's lesson.